Hello, Parsons Collab Design for Literacy Beauties. This is Marcos, and this is our week 15 going to our final week 16 recap briefing video. So, this is our last one. It's an important one as we go towards our final reviews here at Toda. And I want to make sure all of you are fully ready and armed for success. And let's take a look at the calendar. We had a great session. A few fallen students didn't quite make it to the class, but it's understandable at this time of year. But we had week 15, part three of our design concept production for our storybooks, and we had a lot of final, almost final, nearly final, a couple of kind of, sort of, not quite final presentations of the audiovisual books, and things are looking great. Just a few things to revise and polish and wrap up to make things better. But you guys are well underway to have a very successful presentation. So next week, though, is the final reviews, and it's going to be two assignments. We're going to have both the final review presentation deck that you need to have ready, and also I'm going to want you to submit the AV book final files. There's one more little assignment for that, and that's to send those files over. And so what we'll be doing is everyone coming to my office again, just like the photo shoot, to Toda on Thursday evening. As soon as you can, come over. And we're going to have set up five different stations, four in the conference room, one in my office. We're going to have Demi and Ahana and Mateo and some others, my friend Marco, who used to work for me, his daughters, who are quite expert at this. They've been doing it for many, many years, and they're actually very good. Make sure you get Marco's daughters to check out and review and give you feedback on your book. A couple of former students will also be joining, so it'll be a great time and really valuable for you guys. And the key is that you have a great presentation deck and your books in hand, which I have ready here for everyone, which look fantastic and amazing. I'm purposely not even previewing them, so you get a really first impression when you walk into the door. There'll be a table set up just like down here with your books ready for you to grab onto and cling onto, and you'll use them for your part of your presentation as you show your work on the screen, taking them through a deck while you hand them the book, and they have the physical book in their hand and watching you, listening to you. And you take them through your baby board book, then you take them through your storybook, and then finally you show them your audiovisual storybook, obviously on the screen, and you get feedback from them on all those things. So also we'll be taking pictures, and so come coolly dressed as you always do. Not so restrictive on what you wear on your shirts. I don't care at this time, but you know it'll be this kind of thing. So make sure you're ready for your moment. Okay, so the first assignment I want to talk about, which is basically to have your AV part four. It's the fourth, and it's not three parts, so it's four parts, and it's final files, upload all source files. So basically, what I'm saying there is I want you to not only upload your completed MP4, that's 1080 by 1920 with sound and everything finished, but I also want you to upload your source files, the different files you use to create the final file, so that in the future, if we're working on this and we need to revise something or we need to work on it, a different narration or whatever, and I'll contact you if this happens, we have everything in place. So just all source files, your narration file, your motion graphics file, if it's whichever, if it's Figma or After Effects or whatever you used, all those things put together so that we have the pieces needed. And then also one thing I want to make sure that one thing feedback that everybody got was that near the end or at the end of each of your narrations should be a repeat of the title and of the credits, just like the exact same sound file that was used to start off the book should end the book. So you start off with the name of the title and you say the credits, or your narrator says the credits, and that exact same voice file ends the story so that it doesn't just end abruptly with the end of the story. So you're going to upload your MP4 and include all your source files into the Google Drive, into your name with your name on a Google Drive folder up in the Part 4 AV Final Book Files folder. And Canvas is a description of that with a link to the Google Drive. And here's an example image of what a file looked like. There's image files, audio files, After Effects files, the Figma template the person worked on, and then their final MP4. So that's the kind of thing I'm looking for with this. Okay, that's got to be done by end of class next week. So that might be one thing you're doing while you wait for your reviews. Um, and that's going to be up on the Google Drive as well with a folder for that, as well as a folder for the second thing, which is your final review presentations, which we'll go through now. And basically, as I already described, you're going to present all three of your projects on one Google Slides or Canva or Figma or even PowerPoint if you want. But the key for that is because I want you to seamlessly present the stills obviously of your two books, but when you get to your MP4, your audiovisual storybook, I want it to seamlessly play on the same presentation and not close the file and open a different one and just I want it to all be in one presentation so it's nice and clean. So use the same template you've been using. You know this already. You've done it twice, three times. You've done it several times. Every week you're doing it. But basically this time curate your content for each project. Call it cull it down to be less, more compact. Have a good story ready that doesn't take too long, but talks about each step of the process, talks about your story, why you chose it, what it's about, what the moral is about. Maybe some of your research, just really quick, show them, and then move on to your preliminary storyboard or your sketches or even a few layouts, and then get to the story. Showing a lot of stuff, but quickly is probably the key. Don't over talk it. Don't. There's lots of people waiting, and they're sitting through a lot of presentations. But I want them to get a good sense of what your project was about before they see the book, or while they see the book if they're holding it in their hands. So showcase the design process and then show your full book and cover spreads on the screen one at a time and then as a full like overview. And I'm going to show you an example here, a couple in a second. And then for the AV storybook, same thing, show the background and then play the file. If you've got a really long story or a kind of long story, or you get the vibe that it's taken to it, like maybe play a little bit of it and play a little bit of it at the end. Maybe have key times if you feel like you're not going to want to play the whole thing. Have in mind that the 20-second mark is important, the 35-second mark is important. Have a few key places. Maybe playing it all the way through is ideal, and that's what you want to do. But if you're getting the vibe, it's the person's worn out, then just do some highlights. All right, so that's the final files. Let's look at an example of that. And this is a student from last year. And basically, again, use your template. You're going to be sitting down with this. It's going to be a chance for them to start to get to know you. The title slide, your name in the corner, date if you want. Everyone should have this dirt thing in the beginning. Not that you're going to explain it, but just have it there so that the presentation begins at the beginning and talks about the brand. But obviously, you'll just kind of skip through that. Don't even talk about it. I think a table of contents is a good idea. So let's have that. Let's talk about the fact you're going to be presenting a baby board book, a children's storybook, an audiovisual storybook, just like it shows here, the names. Obviously, you don't have to even talk about this, but I think it's good to have there. And then begin with your first project, a little title slide for that. And then you talk about your concept. You have it written out here. You show some inspiration and make it quick, almost as quick as I'm saying now, perhaps. Then begin to talk about your storyboard and your process and how you took on the challenge of creating a brand new book. Now, remember, you guys, with the baby board book, it was our first assignment. You created a full-on original book. I mean, that's incredible. So make sure you give yourself credit, not literally credit, but you talk about how you conceived the book. You had certain goals in mind with the experience. Who is it that you wanted mostly in the audience level? Were you targeting a young infant? Were you targeting an older toddler? Were you having the parent in mind that you wanted a kind of book that they would like to be interacting with, or both? Kind of talk about those things strategically so that you're talking about your design in a way that is connected to DIRT and DIRT's mission. All those things are important to how you present the work and the impression that the judges will have on you. And then showcase your book. I think it's a little weird to show the thing flat like this. I would recommend cropping the cover and showing the back later. I think it's kind of weird to have it flat like this, but you can. That's what, just because the file is that way doesn't mean you should present it that way. And remember, they're going to have it in their hands. So, and then just go through each spread and This might be really quick. They may already be looking at it. They may have already read it, um, and just talk about it. And then here's the key spread to have this here, and maybe you can wrap up your thoughts on what's going on with the full book here before you move on to your next book. And then obviously you're going to repeat the same thing, the concept, the inspiration, the development of your storyboard and how you scoped out your project, and then dive into the design with it in their hands and showcase each spread like this. Um, and then, and think about maybe highlights you want to talk about every now and then as you go through this and say what you like or what was a challenge, um, and go through your full book. And then have, again, another overview page. And then the third one, of course, is your audiovisual storybook and do the same thing. This person did a third original story. She did Noah's Ark, so she has sort of the full package of items, and then it goes right into the storyboard. Noah's Ark. And just make sure the your volume you put in here is good. It doesn't get it's not too low or whatever, or be ready to adjust it. And then, well, the most important thing is to have all your projects in one place so that when you do your thank you page, you can easily go back to this and end the presentation and go back, and then you can talk about, you can turn the floor over to the reviewer or reviewers and get their feedback. And of course, you can always, go back and uh, you know, point to certain pages if they start asking about that. But this is a good place to rest on it. Just another quick example. I'll page through this a little quicker, but it's basically the exact same thing. If I can figure out how to make it full screen, here it is. Um, so again, a dirt page, a table of contents, title page for each of the stories, for each of the book formats or the assignments, a visual inspiration, the storyboard, and then go through with each spread and end up with a overview, although I wouldn't have them touch like this. That's kind of weird. But and then repeat the same thing again, visual inspiration. Um, there wasn't a concept page here, so that's kind of a missed opportunity there. So I would have a concept page there. Especially for her, she completely it was a strong concept. She adapted a story into a really smart book, and she should have put that there. Anyway, she probably talked about it. So again, you're going to show all your spreads, and again, they'll have it in their hands. So you might want to go through and then have the overview, and then again, and here she has her approach for her audiovisual book. I think that page must have been missing by mistake. And she shows the storyboard, and then dives right into it.
By Scarlett Long.
Okay, and then remember that same thing is repeated at the end. That seemed like it was going too fast, didn't it? So again, I was just showing you how the beginning intro with the title and the credits is repeated in the beginning and is at the end. And then here, this is key. This is a better layout, which shows all three projects together. And that will, oh, whoa, man, that's quite a thank you page. Whew, man, whoa, it's beautiful. So anyway, thank you page, and then go back to your overview of each of your three projects, and this is where you can have them talk. Man, okay, so let's get back to our deck. Okay, so there is a Canvas assignment page in Canvas, and it's got a link to your Google Drive, where you can upload everything oh, this is the wrong one. I'm looking at Storybook. Here we go. Final review. It's got an overview of what you should have. It's got a link here to a new page in the resources folder in the Google Drive that has different, more examples from past students on how they laid theirs out and how they created their presentations for you to take a look at. And as you can see here, there's the two folders, and the overview one is not in the screenshot, but if you find the resources one, you'll find a folder that says final presentation deck examples. And in there, as you can see here, are several files of past students' presentations. So this might be a good inspiration to look through some of these before or during your development of your own presentation. So you have things squared away in the best possible way. Okay, so next week, arrive at my office in Brooklyn as close to 7 p.m. as possible. Again, you're going to get either, I think, emailed to you a pass for the downstairs. So remember, you're going to need that. If you don't get it, please email me before things start rolling, because then I won't be checking my email. I'll be running around, and you might be left outside like one person was last time. So I'll try to have somebody downstairs at the door. I don't know if I can do that or not, but be here as soon as you can. Like if you have a class, don't, d right at 6:45, you're out. That's okay. Just come be here by 7:30. The sooner the better, but there'll be a lot of there'll be some wait. There will be waiting. You'll be waiting for your turn, but you'll also be observing um, other people's. That's going to be, I'm going to give everybody a checklist. It's going to include that you presented to, I think, 3 people. It's going to include that you observed 3 people. It's going to include that you got your picture taken. It's going to include that you filled out your class survey or your evaluation survey, which is the last slide here. So I want to make sure everybody participates in this. I want 100% participation. And of course, I want good reviews, but I want your comments. I want your feedback. I get them a few months after class is over, and it's so great always to read through them, especially the comments, and see what was good for you guys and how this class was effective and what worked. If you got criticism, bring it on. Be professional about it, of course. But let me know. Let me know in person. In fact, if there's things I should be doing better. But you can also let me know through the survey. But yeah, make sure you do that as it's important. And I've been giving you guys feedback for months now. It's time you give me some. All right, so that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. So if you need any feedback before class, send things to me. Send me an email. I'm always here, ready to reply. And in the meantime, do your best to get that audiovisual book wrapped up. Make your final presentation, upload your final files, your source files, check all the boxes. The A making machine has come out. He just got back from spring break. He took a long spring break. So the A making machine is now going to start looking at your folders on the Google Drive. Has the students been putting their assignments up each week as they're supposed to? And if it is, the A making machine will start making your beautiful golden A nice and big and glowing. If it's not there, it might start getting confused. So don't confuse the A making machine. Have your stuff all uploaded, have your assignments fulfilled. The A-making machine is kind of turning away on attendance, I gotta say. But never mind. Just you make sure you're there on this last one. Do not, under any circumstances, miss this final class. If you do that, I'm going to be so mad at you. And then some bad things are going to happen with your grade, and I can't help it. So make sure you come to this class for sure, and I know you will, because there's these beautiful books waiting for you. You're going to be so happy. So okay, so do all you can do to make the presentation the best you can make it. You've already done such a great job with your designs, with your books, with your audiobook. And now it's time, it's kind of like graduation. It's time to collect the accolades and to celebrate the moment that with others who are looking at your work and seeing it for the first time. And so it's going to be cool. All right, guys, that's it for now. I will see you guys at my office on Thursday. Ciao.